Well, hey everybody, I'm John Ritland, and this is my review of NWA Powerrr Episode 2. But before I get into that, the little ticker, the little 3-minute ticker they do where they show, praise from wrestlers, fans, and people alike, they showed some clips from other wrestling fan podcasts, and YouTube videos, just where it's like, hey, people were praising it, and it was really, really cool. About halfway through, they show a 10-second clip of my Episode 1 review, which means a whole lot. I don't know if somebody at the NWA office saw that and liked it, or if a fan sent it. I have no goddamn idea. However it got there, thank you so much for putting it on there. It really means a lot. And thank you to everybody that praised me and said, hey, we're so happy for you. We're happy that you got featured there. It really means a lot because I'm just a wrestling fan, a longtime wrestling fan that just is sharing his love of wrestling on YouTube. And that kind of recognition and that kind of platform, just a little 10-second clip, means the world to me. Thank you guys so much for the feedback. It really means a lot. But this is a review, and we start with recaps of last week, some good stuff and everything, and a great theme song, that whole Into the Fire. I forget the band's name right now, but that is really, really good stuff. Classic, but also new, also new school. It's a really good mix, and really does fit the NWA old school feel while bringing it into the modern age. We get Jim Cornette and Joe Galli on commentary, and we get Aaron Stevens, the former Damian Sandow and former Aaron Rex in Impact, so Sandow in WWE. Aaron Rex in Impact. He's back after 2 years off, and great. It's really, really good. He says that he wants everybody to avoid eye contact with him because he has a weird thing about eye contact, and he does the whole silence thing like he did with Damian Sandow and all that. Really, really great to see him back. I wish him nothing but the best as far, I'm not like he's going to watch this, but I wish him nothing but the best in this run, the NWA. It's really good. He seems refreshed, and it seems like that time away has done him a whole lot of good. We then get Trevor Murdoch, of course, looking much more like Dick Murdoch as time has gone on. I'm not knocking, it's just the similarities are so there. And Trevor is a great athlete. He has not been in the ring much lately, apparently. He left for some time. Jim Cornette mentioned that on commentary because he wasn't very happy with where wrestling was going, though. I know he's made appearances here and there. I just don't think he's made that many. But Ricky Starks, saw him at my first ever indie show that I went to last July. Really, really great talent and very tremendous in the ring. Very well spoken. A great heel. Has a great look. He's young. He's talented. But this was one of those, a veteran versus a younger guy, where it's like, could the veteran stick around? And guess what happened? Got a nice chop exchange, some good moves and everything. Trevor Murdoch went for a big move, missed. Ricky Starks came back, still some other good moves, and then in the end, a crucifix pin, 1, 2, 3, and Ricky Starks gets the pin over the veteran. And even Trevor Murdoch said, hey, I got caught. Great fight, kid. Good job. And Ricky Starks cuts a really good promo. Very heelish, but also putting over the fact that, hey, he's happy to be here in the NWA, and he knows he has to earn, he can go in a bunch of different directions, go for titles, but he wants to go for everything. He wants to make the NWA his. And it's really, really good stuff. And I can't wait to see where he goes from here. And then we get a tease of a Joe Galli piece with Nick Aldis and Camille, where he's going to find out, what Camille has to say, or is she going to say anything? NWA pay-per-view plug, on December 14th, I will be buying that, unless I'm suddenly busy that day. I'm going to be buying it. I enjoyed the NWA Crockett Cup review, or Crockett Cup that I did. That review, I enjoyed the show. I enjoyed reviewing it. The fact that review did so goddamn well showed that there's a market, and I'm really happy that the NWA is having a pay-per-view. I think that it's going to do pretty goddamn well, and I encourage you guys to make sure that you buy it. If it's anything like the price for the Crockett Cup, it should be more than affordable, and I'm really, really excited they're having a pay-per-view. But anyway, we get the Colt Cabana interview, and he's talking about, how he faced James Storm and lost the NWA National Championship, and how, he wasn't 100%, but now he is. He wants to face James Storm, but he has a tag match here. Who's going to be his tag team partner? It's Mr. Kennedy's trademark, so it's Anderson. Mr. Anderson, Mr. Kennedy from WWE, and Mr. Anderson from his time in Impact Wrestling. And it was cool. They had a nice little promo exchange and everything, just trading, back and forth with like lines and stuff like that, as you would in a promo, but just some humorous lines. And then we get Colt Cabana and Mr. Anderson versus Sal Rinauro, who's going to, I think, be like, their residential jobber because he was on last week. And Jordan Kingsley. They don't really get in all that much. Jordan Kingsley gets in like a couple moves. That's about it. Sal mainly takes the beating here. Or Sal. I think it's Sal. Better call Sal because we need a job done. Cornette does talk in the beginning about how he has had harsh words for Colt Cabana in the past. but, has also praised his wrestling when he wants to wrestle. This was good stuff. I like that they did that. That was some good. I know that Jim Cornette is divisive. I'm still a fan of his, and I will be a fan of his, even if I don't agree with everything that he says. In the end, mic check, 1, 2, 3. And no, that's not a song reference. Sal gets pinned. And then Aldis talks about, is leaving the little studio and talks about Galley's interview, saying it's not TMZ, it's the NWA. We get a little tease for that. Then we get Tony Fawkes. It's really hard to say that name and not sound like you're swearing. Waffles and tire irons. I'm not sure what this was, but it was just really hilarious. It was very, very good and nice that they're using, older wrestlers just to have some fun, have some entertainment, and everything. That was some pretty cool stuff. And waffles and tire irons. I mean, it almost sound, it just does sound like a very southern restaurant. But anyway, we then get Eddie Kingston and Homicide, an interview like, from last week. That was some good stuff. Eddie Kingston, a very, very good promo. Homicide, no slouch there either, but Kingston clearly the star when it comes to being magic on the mic, not the movie Magic Mike. But then we get Allison Kay versus Ashley Vox. I'm a big fan of Allison Kay from the time she was Sienna in Impact. She really did a lot of really good stuff with the Impact Knockouts Championship. And apparently invited Ashley Vox to this taping because she wanted to face her, she wanted to give her a chance and stuff like that. And I'm not that familiar with Ashley Vox. I think I might have heard the name a little bit, but I don't believe I've seen her in anything. I was impressed here, though. There were some nice exchanges. Allison, clearly the taller of the two. Ashley would not stop, though. She kept going for stuff. Got a really, really, close near fall. But there was a beautiful, just delayed German suplex that Kate hit. That was really impressive. But then Vox gets him some quick moves, almost gets a near fall, but in the end, I don't know what you call this sit down move that Kay did, the K Crusher. I actually don't know what you call it, so please let me know in the comments what it is. But yeah, Allison Kay got the victory. She put over Vox in an interview while saying, "Hey, your future's bright. It ain't as bright as my gold, or it doesn't include my gold, but still, that was some nice stuff. Way to put over people and do some good work." Then get recaps of Aldis and Storm. Tim Storm was going to have a post-match interview and then just walks out because he looks sad. Understandable. I hope they feature Tim Storm some more if he wants to be featured. I know he's in his early 50s, but I think they could tell a good story here. Him go for the NWA National Championship and find a way to get back to Aldis that way. Even though he's supposed to never get a shot again, the NWA National Championship, which, speaking of which, you got James Storm in an interview, and he wants a crack at the world title, and that's why the national championship comes in handy, because it's kind of like being able to like cash it in, that kind of stuff, or say like, hey, I'm here. It's kind of like the U.S. and NWA tag titles, or that kind of stuff, or it was like being the U.S. champion, the NWA U.S. champion, then the NWA world champion. You were like seen right here, and then you could, be seen as a potential challenger. But anyway, good interview, good stuff. Really did enjoy it. James Storm hitting his catchphrases. Really, really good talker. And then Eli Drake comes in and basically says, hey, don't waste this shot. And if you win the world title or whatever, don't forget your boy, and walks off. Austin Idol Wrestling Universal Wrestling College, I believe. Austin Idol yelling a lot. It's the same thing that we saw last week. Then we get Eddie Kingston and Homicide versus the wild card Royce Isaacs and Tom Latimer, who was Bram in Impact Wrestling NWA tag title match. And well, good match. Don't get me wrong. It was good stuff. The faces start off hot. Kingston and Homicide, that is. And Homicide gets targeted with a lot of wrestles and a lot of beatdowns, stuff like that. Kingston finally gets tagged, but then the Dawsons, the two big guys from last week that had that big squash match, run in, and they cause a no contest and everything. So obviously this is going to build to maybe a three-way or something like that, where they're gonna get a shot, or there's gonna be a shot like on TV. I did not read the spoilers or whatever, so please, if you're gonna post any spoilers, say there's spoilers, and post them in the comments if you're gonna do that. And then we get we have that. We get the Joe Galley interview with Aldis and Camille. And basically, Joe wants Aldis, wants to know what Camille has to say. Like, why do you need Camille? This kind of stuff. Oh, well, after losing, at all in with the NWA, for the NWA title against Cody Rhodes, after losing that, he wanted to get an insurance policy. And that's why he got an insurance policy. And that's what Camille is. And every time he says, hey, if you're going to interfere, he actually stopped her from interfering against Marty Scurll. at the NWA Crockett Cup. I remember that one. But so she's an insurance policy. Well, he wants to get words out of her. Joe does. And, well, she doesn't say anything. She's like, has her mic and then doesn't say anything. And that's pretty much where the show ends. I'm going to say this. I was really, really complimentary last week. Now, was the show as strong? No, it wasn't. I'm still going to give it a B because I did enjoy it. But I can't say that it was as great as last week's. But I'm certainly excited to see where the rest of the tapings are going to go, and certainly excited to see where this pay-per-view is going to go, and I can't wait to see how they build it. But anyway, that's what I'm going to say. Agree, disagree with what I say? Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritland, and I'll see you soon.